Does Anthem need PvP?
Short answer, yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Kyrian,
so.
explain.
Why not? Why not? I mean,
Well,
every other
no,
game
no.
has it.
You listen.
Every other
You
game
came
has
you
it.
came in you came in hot with the yes, and I want an explanation.
Okay, the
You
game
take this. You
doesn't.
take this one first.
Okay, sounds good. So the game doesn't need it. The game is good on its own.
Mhm.
However, every game has it. There's a huge player base that thrives on that type of atmosphere, that type of
Yes.
thing,
Hmm.
and I think it's silly to not think about it and implement some form of it, because you're losing that player base just for no reason, because it's
Yeah.
not difficult to do.
Mhm.
Like, why not have a 4v4 melee thing in some kind of weird ass arena? Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it's well, Christ, look at the Destiny ones. So
Yeah.
I know you haven't played Destiny, but there was this thing called Gambit in Destiny, which
Yeah.
you're killing all kinds of mobs. You are kind of it's hard to explain, but you're killing all these mobs to collect these items to
Yes.
level up your group to be able to drop the boss, to kill the boss, while the other team is doing the same thing.
Right.
And then at the same time, you could send like an assassin into the other team to take some of those guys out to set them back.
Yes.
Anyway, there's a lot of cool ways to do this. So it doesn't have to be straight up a 4v4 like, World of Warcraft PvP style. There's a lot of different ways that you could figure this out. And I mean, the world is
But-
there, the people are there.
But that's
The 4v4 thing is fantastic.
but that's it. But that's the only way you could do it, right? It would have to be a 4v4 team in the big open world. How else would you do it? That's the only way I think. Even
Well, like
with
I said,
somebody,
there's different ways of doing it. You can just do 4v4 straight up, or like I said, with this Gambit thing, you don't really see the other team unless you're the person that's teleported over to their side. Think of it more like individual PvE content that you send a bad guy over there to their team to take out them, to
Yeah.
set them back. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, without you experiencing it, I know it's hard for you to understand, but it was a really cool new take on PvE or PvP that they could do.
Yeah.
That would make it interesting and not super. Again, it's not super hard.
Yeah.
But it was really fun, and it was interesting. It was different. It was new.
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah.
just your typical 3v3, 4v4, 5v5.
Yeah.
Battle
Yeah, so
thing.
so I mean, obviously, I'm on the opposite end of the fence here. I think there's some other people here in chat too that are for it and against it. But actually, this article that I brought up here on Reddit was really, really interesting. This was posted 5 days ago, and the title is "The fact that Anthem has no PvP is a big plus for me, not a minus." So the writer of this post that goes into I just want to say that I really think that the PvE focus of Anthem is a huge plus for the game, not only because I am not a big fan of PvP, but also out of a lot of other reasons. So there's three main areas here that he details, which I completely agree with. So number one, balancing. It is much easier to balance skills and weapons only for PvE. You will never get a situation where you have to nerf a javelin ability or weapon for PvP, while it was perfectly fine in PvE or the other way around. Second point here is you actually do not need to nerf anything. You can just buff other weaker weapons and abilities to bring them on par, and you can always add another difficulty level on top. Great that Anthem already has the expandable difficulty levels implemented. The second point here is community fragmentation, which we are seeing in this chat right now, which is what happened today in the Discord. So PvP is something you choose to play within a game. If you don't want to, then don't. Okay, I agree with that.
Listen, if this is a PvE first game, which it is, then you balance for that. And PvP is your secondary thing, or even, well, in this case, it's basically tertiary. Then don't worry about balancing for it. Whatever, or do small balances, or do a power level kind of evening out, which they do now in a lot of PvPs, right? Where, like, let's say Star Wars Galaxy I think was the one that started it first, if I recall. Where you log in, and let's say I'm like level 15, instantly I'm level whatever the max level was, and everybody's brought up to that to be equal playing field.
Yeah.
That way you're balanced. There's ways of doing it so that you don't have to worry about the balancing. If it's PvE first, which it is,
Yep.
then don't worry about the balancing of it. PvP is secondary, and can just be what it is. And it's something that a small portion of the player base wants to take part of, or large. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because that's not the focus of the game. So if you put it in there and people can play with it, that's fine. That's great. That's just a bonus. It's not a negative.
Yeah.
It's just an extra.
Yeah. So actually, some of your points there on this author's post here actually touched. So he goes into community fragmentation. Looking at big theme park MMOs or Destiny, you have players who only play PvP and others who only want to play PvE. First.
Okay, so let me stop there. There. If you don't put PvP in, you lose the players that want to play PvP on.
Okay.
So therefore, you have just shrunk your entire player base.
Okay.
Therefore, shrunk your financials by a huge margin.
Yep.
Overall, so why not have that, right?
So, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
If this is a PvE first game, anyways,
Which
how many actual PvP players are you going to have in the first place?
You are going to have a bunch.
I highly disagree.
I think you'd be extremely
highly
surprised.
disagree.
I think you'd be extremely surprised, because I think a lot of players will play the PvP or PvE game, and if PvP is the option, they get even more excited and stay in it longer. I think you lose guys on a PvE game that like the competition.
I do know the community. I'm a part of this community. I've been a part of this community for almost 2 weeks, and I've been reading a lot and going very, very deep into this game. And there's a lot of people who openly say, like this post here, who don't want PvP. Who don't want PvP. And again, if we're talking about
it, they don't have to play it.
Right. Okay. Right? But my point is that if we're playing a PvE first game,
and they can acquire all of the gear that they want to through PvE.
Right. PvP players are not going to be attracted to this game in the first place, because they're going to read there's no PvP at launch, and it might be coming later. So how are you attracting and keeping a PvP player base that's going to stick with this game for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever the timeline is for PvP to come, if they're not there in the first place?
Man, like for the first, I don't remember how long it was, but like 6-7 months, right? Like they didn't have a good game off the launch.
Yeah.
They relaunched the game. All of a sudden, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you could do the same thing. All of a sudden, let's say 4 months later, they release PvP content, and they say, this is what the PvP is going to be like. It's going to be dope. These are going to be the things you're going to be able to... Oh, hey, I'm a PvP player. I'm going to come and join. Done. You instantly are just casting a wider net. And why wouldn't you want a wider net for your game? Because, again, the wider net means that you are going to be bringing in more guys, spending more money on the stupid emotes and skins and all the crap that comes with it. They're going to be giving the devs money that are going to make the devs make more content for you. You want to cast the wider net. 100%.
Yeah. Joda says, if you got Destiny when it's free on PC, you should play it and see how a game like Anthem can have PvP. Well, the problem is that Destiny and Anthem are completely different games. And I've said this before, and in the first episode of the Tarsis Tavern, is I think Destiny is actually the least comparable game to Anthem. I think this game fits in.
Fighting, son.
I think this game fits more into the Division, Diablo category than it does Destiny. First of all, because it's first person versus third person. Let's start there. First person versus third person.
That's so minor of an issue, I think, to me. I don't care about the visual, whether it's first or third. The main thing is it's a space themed looter shooter evolving world shit everything game, and that's what Destiny is. This looks better, but I think it's very similar to Destiny. I really do. I think it's very, very similar to Destiny and can accomplish the same things that they did since they relaunched it,
Yeah.
and have the PvP in it in such a way that, like, again, when I was playing Destiny, I played the hell out of the PvP stuff, but I didn't have to. I had some people that I was playing with in a guild I was in that were only playing the PvE stuff.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You could do both, and like that's what I mean. Like, why can't we just why can't we just all live in harmony, brother?
Well, and this the author of this post here too has some good points too that kind of touch on that, and I just want to finish this up. He says if there's a new content update that requires you to play PvP, or is purely focused on PvP, PvE players will complain that they are forced to play PvP if they want to take part in the new content. You always have to deliver content for PvE and PvP, or one part of the community will start complaining. Then the last point is you do not have to implement quests that require players to play the PvP modes to keep these modes alive. That's actually a really good point too, in terms of content and fragmenting your community. I think this is a little bit of what I'm concerned about, is that if you put PvP into this game, you're going to fragment the community as well too.
And it depends on the rewards. Are the rewards for PvP going to be okay? Let's say
great point. How do you balance that?
Well, you have things that are PvP specific, right? Or whatnot. So that, listen, this new gear that comes out that is that I'm earning through PvP is a, whatever the stats are, makes it make more sense to use in only a PvP environment.
Right. So hold on. One second. Jodet, I'm on the official Anthem Reddit. So he said the bright, I don't even know what Breitbart is of Anthem News right now, and we're on the actual stuff. No, I'm on the official Anthem Reddit. Everything has come from the official Anthem Reddit, or very, very valid articles. That is an assumption saying that everybody has to do everything, i.e. people who can't do Grandmaster will complain about loot. Right, but you have the ability to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And again,
this is the thing, Sean. There's so many ways of doing it so that it doesn't affect.
I just think again, we're dealing with a game that we know.
Play PvP on anything ever?
Not really. No, I'm not a PvP guy, and maybe that's just part of my problem too. But because the reason that this game has kind of drawn me in again, and we've talked about it a few times today, in terms of the end game, is the living world aspect of it, right? And I think there is going to be enough content.
Yep.
For this game specifically, that I think the Anthem needs PvP in X amount of months to survive statement is ridiculous. But that's what we're getting, right?
I'm with you on that. I don't think it needs it to survive.
Right.
I don't think it needs to survive at all.
That's the narrative that's coming.
A difference between survive and thrive.
Okay, now hold on. But that's the narrative. That's the narrative that's coming from these YouTubers and content creators, saying that if this game doesn't bring in PvP in X amount of time or X amount of months, it's going to be a dead game. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not biased. What I want to happen is this game to stick to its roots. I want them to be able to use the living world aspect to show that they can absolutely kill it with PvE in this game, and that there's going to be enough content and cool stuff and world events happening in this game that they are not going to have to add PvP in X amount of time.
If I said something to you like, okay, in 4 months' time, they take 20% of their staff, 20% of their resources, and divert that to PvP, and continue with 80% of their staff and resources and time and money and everything.
That sucks.
PvE content.
That sucks.
You're out on that.
I'm not out on it, but it sucks because the system that they have in place with the world for the PvE content has so much potential to take 20% of your resources away from a system that is so awesome. And would you not agree that this system is new? Like, have we seen anything?
So listen to what I'm saying here, though. Remember, going back to what I said, when you take that 20% and you're investing it in PvP, and you're casting that wider net and getting, let's say, I don't know, let's say even like 15% larger player base, because you've got a PvP game that are going to be then spending money on the game, which are then going to be increasing your budget on the game, which is then going to make even more, you know what I mean? Like anything that makes the game bigger
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Going to help you in the PvE content.
I agree. I just don't want. I guess the term is muddle the mixture. Muddle the mixture. And hold on here, Zakir in the chat. Will those YouTubers want to make vids showing them to be PvP gods or something as all? That's right. You're right.
Screw those guys. We don't care.
But Zakir's absolutely right. People who are screaming for PvP, if you're a YouTuber or a big content creator, all you want is clout for sure.
Yeah, and I don't care about that. What I care about, like I said, is keeping the net cast wide, so I have more players playing the game that are going to enjoy the game, put money into the game, which keeps the budgets higher and the content coming at a faster pace, because that's going to keep me playing for a longer period of time. Even if let's say I just hate the PvP and it sucks and I don't want to play it, that's fine. Because I'm not a PvP guy. I'm arguing this for them because I want more PvE content, and I know that the more money that comes in means I get better content. Right? That's why I'm arguing for this, because the more money they can make, the more people that they can bring into the game is going to help me and help the stability of the game in the long run. And that's what
I agree with that. Yeah. And then the last point here in this person's post here is about toxicity. And I agree with this too. PvE focused online games have a far more friendly community, and players tend to help each other even more. Far fewer elitists are around, and far less toxicity in chats and forums. I agree. Adding PvP adds a certain level of eliteness and people looking for clout, which can be a detriment to communities.
I agree.
I mean,
but again,
that's a point.
If you played, I really wish you played Destiny 2 just for a baseline on this, because honestly, I found with Destiny 2, the way they did it, there was like zero of that garbage.
Really?
Yeah. Joda, would you not agree?
Because I've watched Destiny streamers before that I can't stand.
Was fantastic for PvP. The PvP was almost integrated in such a way that it wasn't even PvP. Like I said, that Gambit thing was like, it's like playing, I don't know, I can't even think of something to, I don't know, tower defense on World of Warcraft or on Warcraft 3. Like it's like a version of the game that's still the game, but it's kind of PvP, but it's not really PvP. It's weird. They do it in such a way that it integrated, it worked, it helped, it was awesome, it was dope. I played PvP and I'm not a PvP guy. Yeah. But Gambit counted as that. So I don't know. I really wish you played that because you could see what PvP it doesn't have to be a straight up 4v4 melee in a friggin' small little arena. Doesn't have to be that. And
you know what, maybe after a couple months of playing Anthem and doing a lot of the story and the lore stuff and the high content PvE, maybe my perspective on this will change. But right now, and I agree with this person in this post, all in all, I really appreciate the PvE focus of Anthem, and I also like the focus on the RPG elements, story, and the lore, and that's where I'm at right now with Anthem. With Anthem, I want to see.
I'm a PvE player, man. I love it. That's what I'm all about. I'm about the lore. I read the lore.
Me too. And that's what I hope. That's what I hope they stick with.
I'm the guy that spends 10 hours collecting books in Skyrim. All right.
Yes.
So I love the lore. It's great.
Yeah. I want to get lost in this game from the PvE direction. I want to see what they do with the world, the Shaper Storms, the high level content, the gear, the combat system. There is so much that like there's so much to this game that I think we have to get through. and we have to dig deeper on before PvP even comes into the equation. Like PvP is, to me, a last of like it should be like bottom of the list. Bottom of the list. Like the list is this big. List is this big, folks. PvP needs to be at the bottom because there's so much to this game, to this world, to this combat system, everything that it's not a priority. I don't think it should be a priority. I just don't think
I hear it. I don't think it should be a priority either.
Yeah.
But
this is what we're getting back.
Them, 3 months time saying, hey, we're coming out with PvP. I don't think people should be pissed off about it. Because like I said, anything extra that you can add, that's all it comes down to. Anything extra you can add to the game
in 3 months. So that seems quick. I mean, like what?
How do you know that's quick? How do you know that's quick?
What would be?
You might have so much content that's going to come out at launch that you're going to be busy for 3 months anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So who cares?
I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence again. I just think that there's so much.
You can take that fence and shove that fence right up your.
All right.
Man. Like I said, I'm a PvE guy. I'm with you 100%. I want the PvE to be fantastic.
Yeah, awesome.
That's me. I don't play PvP, but anything that brings more players into the game is going to benefit the game. Is going to benefit us in the long run. Period. Done. Bring it on.